Alright, what's up, assholes? We're here in Val di Sole on the morning of finals. And in this video, I'm just gonna walk down the track top to bottom and talk about it. There's some interesting stuff going on. The track's been beat to shit over the past few days, so it's changed a lot. So gonna see how it's doing up there. And yeah, we'll be panning and zooming, seeing what's up. Let's do it. All right, so we're here at the top, right below the start gate. We did get some rain last night, so the track's gone from full dry to having a little bit of moisture in it. But this first berm is, there's something to talk about right here. So yeah, obviously inside, outside, but there was a clip that emerged yesterday of Jackson Goldstone riding above that top rut that's grooved in on just the upper coping of the berm. And I don't know, that's just absolutely nuts. Like, to have that be the first thing you do on your run, to be like within millimeters of disaster at full commitment, is pretty gnarly. All right, we're just in the turn below that. This is kind of interesting. We're here right at the point where this coping, where everyone's been hitting it, is blown out. There's only like maybe a few more riders before that support is fully gone on the top of the berm. And that rider right there had a little bit of a moment where he pressed in and didn't quite hold him how he expected, and it went wide. And once this thing blows out just a little more, riders are probably gonna have to start cutting this one inside. So another race run adjustment that might need to be made. I mean, we're still up here on the berms, but look at how disgusting that hole is. Yeah, I bet in the live feed, you'll see at least a few people try and go under that. Let's see what this rider does. Straight through, no issues. A lot of these sections look a lot worse when I first see them, and then the riders come through and they make them look better than they should. And there's another berm up there. It looks like it's holding up quite well, although I think it was Chris Hauser tried to whop the shit out of that and had a huge off coming out of it. So there is a limit. It's like, it looks good, but the dirt is skaty, so if you push too hard you can get punished. And then big fadeaway. This looks super fun to ride, this whole section really. But that's kind of the last bit. The rest of the track's fairly disgusting. Okay, I think this whole video is just going to be saying this is so gnarly, because this is so gnarly. Coming into the first drop into the wood section, you saw, I don't know, forget who the Yeti was, full two-wheel drift off that rock drop, which goes into just a bunch of horrible bullshit. So then you come off of that friggin' thing, but just watch out for that wheel ending rock. Then watch out for that pedal clipping disaster. So yeah, you got to come off of that with speed, real composed. And people are doing, you know, like the squash thing where the tire buzzes their ass, and then get into like a tire width wide rut right here. So the rain doesn't seem to have done much. This corner looks like it would be straight out of North Star, dead summer. I mean, there's a little bit of moisture in there, but yeah, there's just no composure to the dirt. All right, there's some team personnel here, so it must be interesting. This looks terrible. All right, so you got all this junk coming in, but you pretty much got to be riding this little bit of a berm outside rut right there, and then try not to slide off of this rock. I think what people are doing is gapping off to some sort of landing there. It's like an awkward length where like a full bike length doesn't really fit in it, and then hopping into all that rough junk down there. And like, it's situations like this where you have to be so precise, but the dirt is completely moving under you, and then you also have to be going fast. So I don't know, it's just really impressive. That was an option too. Inside and roll down. And then check this out. So however you deal with this section up here, you come, you know, pinging down here, and then you pretty much, your only option is to hit this
tire width wide level of support. I don't even know if, because if you go too wide, you're in this soft stuff. That's not going to hold you. I guess you can like ride that rock and kind of land into here. But really, the point of greatest success is literally like a tire width. They're literally all hitting that tire width rut with ease. Oh my God. All right, we're a bit further down in that straight section. This little rock gap has gotten even worse with the landing. Oh my God. Like, just the rocks are more exposed, the roots are more defined. I mean, it never looked good, but it's even worse. I feel like you can see the scratch that took out Finn Isles lowers into a pretty big crash. I don't know. I've heard some of the guys puzzling on what to do here because, yeah, just smashing all this shit is more direct, and I think that was the line that people were taking, but now it's to the point where you could easily break a wheel in here and all that stuff is slowing you down more. It's a bit more risky, so it might be worth going outside. Here's Aletha. Let's see what she does. That's quite smooth. Okay, we're right below that fast section with the horrible gap. This is the fresh cut section. It looked fresh on day one, but now it's an absolute war zone. Look at how many rocks have... Yeah, still 2 main lines. I think the inside is the go for most riders. It just doesn't pay to carry more speed into this section. And then a few people were hucking off the center of that rock, which is absolutely absurd. That's something I would never even think of, but it does set you up for like a middle line. And then holy hell. This is the bottom of the new section, and this looks like a fucking war zone. Oh my God. Oh, outside. Ooh. All right, this is elite first run. Here's Jackson. See, I don't think many people could get away with that. There's something to do with how light he is. Yeah, Dale. But yeah, for Jackson to just plop off this full compression and just kind of bounce. There we got Loris. Oh. So Dylan and Loris are going ultra inside right there to avoid this more cupped out aggressive compression. Takes a little bit more of a setup, but I think that's going to get deeper and gnarlier, and it's pretty hard to deal with unless your name's Jackson and you can just splat it with your full body weight and just continue on like nothing happened. So the full outside from yesterday, which is right there, has moved even further outside, and that's almost not an option, but then people go inside of that. The dirt's so soft that a new one starts to shape up. Ooh. That was like a middle. That was actually nice. Here comes Valley. Yeah, so everyone started to cut in one that's slightly inside, which has become the main line now. So homie right there kind of came in early and was having to turn too much on the entrance of the corner. I don't know. There really ain't much to hold you. Look at it. Yeah, if you start turning too early, you can barely see it. There's that root right there. It's gonna take your wheel out. So you gotta be patient enough to get into the line a bit wider. But if you come in too far inside, it kind of forces you into that situation. All right, we're slightly down track from the fresh stuff. This is an older bedded in section of track. Rip this corner, quick little rest, and then out into the open where it gets all rough again.
Yes, Jackie.
Ronan. Well executed. That hole is getting quite aggressive. I believe that's Brosnan? Luca dove inside of that. You can see those tires marks. Yeah, it's interesting that come finals time is kind of the moment where a lot of these main lines with support are getting so rough that the inside becomes tempting. So, but it's like, it's not an obvious choice which one's better. With the gap in, are you kidding me? So this is one of the few sections where the track lets up as far as steepness, and the riders can kind of just let off the brakes and let the bike eat. Most are setting up high up here, but I saw Loris just sneak around the inside. Looked pretty smooth. And then a few guys are like gapping from there over that rock into there. And then, you know, you can just smash it. But again, so precise and gnarly. It's fucking ridiculous. So I skipped a bit of a section. There's a small traverse up there. And now the track just gets steep. It's women's junior finals right now. So we're into race runs. That was kind of insane, actually. I think we're still on junior women's. This stepped out route section is so steep, and you want to hit it off your brakes at least a little bit so your bike can work. But I mean, I hope you can just like appreciate how steep this section is. All right, junior men. Okay, even in this section, not as steep, but I mean, it's like 15 feet wide. You got smooth around the outside with a little more bumps, then you got inside, and then some support out here. Not as much on, I don't know. There's a lot going on top to bottom. achieved max zoom. What?
Even in the family, but it's hard to work, and you can't take anything away from Max either. He just had a bobble and
All right, we're pretty much at the bottom of the track now. It's women's elite finals. I think we got like 5 more to go. Didn't have a whole lot to say on this steep lower section besides what I've already said. It's just steep, gnarly, not as many line options, but it's just the track doesn't let up. Hands are probably completely blown up, but you gotta commit for one last big compression. Try and get off the brakes and hold your body weight and then into the iconic last finish straight. So gonna watch the last handful of women down here and then get set up in the iconic Sam Hill corner.
questa ultima parte noi ce la vediamo sotto la a gestire questa prima parte di gara. He's in the lead. Verso il traguardo. Will this be enough to take the lead? Will this be enough to fend off some of the top riders into the Aero Tactical team? On appelle à voir le temps, ce sera. It will be, yes, first place, 3:42.223 for Timo Deppen.
He doesn't make goals, and he stops the clock. 3 minutes.
Yeah, boy, let's go!
Vediamo quando si ferma l'orologio e siamo a 3:43, terzo posto.
Together slowly but surely, and once that
Sul tempo riuscirà a salire sul podio.
But right there, that ultimate cost.